All right.
Yes.
Good evening, everyone, and a very, very, very warm welcome after a long, long time at our very, very dearly missed speaker series from Prem Raj. Prem Raj was, of course, going through some kind of physical and health issues, and hence we took this small little break. But I must say, Prem Raj ji, this is a very, very popular series, and people kept
Thank you.
asking me, when is Prem Raj ji going to do this again? I said, no, October we will try. It's November, and I'm really thankful to you that you initiated this for October itself, because there is huge learning. The speakers that you mindfully select to come here, the learning that happens really, really creates amazing value for each and everyone who's attending. So really, thanks to you for that. And I'm very
Happy
glad to
about it.
have Vikas Mohan Khosla here today, whom even I have been wanting to hear the story about. So let Premraj ji introduce you, and let's take that further there. But before that, let me introduce Premraj to those that are new here. Premraj is an author and a futurist speaker on leadership and management. KV Premraj has spent 37 years in banking with experience in public and private sector. He was also the CEO of the BPO arm of a leading private sector bank. Premraj is the co-author of 3 books, and all 3 have hit the #1 spot on Amazon best-selling list. Views expressed by Premraj have been published in Economic Times, Business Standard, Financial Express, Indian Express, Mumbai Mirror, and many other periodicals. Premraj hails from Mumbai and resides with his wife, son, daughter-in-law, mother-in-law, and pet cat-in-law. But before I hand over to Premraj, I will just give you a little snippet about Power Up and how dearly we are enthralling on this series with Premraj sir, because he's an integral part of Power Up. Power Up is a community of entrepreneurs who completely believe in growing together. And now I can say so more confidently and with a surety after all the business that has been generated. Just to give you the figures, 5 lakhs in the last month. We are now 37 members, and we had a brilliantly successful offline meet 2 days back, and which has brought us more people to connect with us, and it is giving value to all the members that are connected with us. And the only reason why this value comes is because each of the 37 people believe in each other. They believe in bringing business for each other, and they believe in a lot of collaboration and co-creation. So I'm very, very happy to be part of this group and to have such beautiful members connected with us. Thank you, each member who is here with us today. So with that, moving on to Premraj ji, the most popular Premraj series speaker, founder. So yeah, so over to you, Premraj ji.
Thank you, Jaya. Thanks for that kind introduction. And I would like to compliment you for the wonderful session that you all had on Saturday. I'm sorry I missed it due to health concerns. I heard a lot of good things about that. I need to compliment you. And as far as Power Ups is concerned, you're the glue that is holding it together. That's the reason we are seeing so many new people joining. And I'm very sure very, very soon, Power Up will be a real power to reckon with.
Thank you so much.
Going on to the session, let me introduce our celebrity guest for the day, Vikas Mohan Khosla. He's a keynote speaker, an author, a successful business person running 5 businesses simultaneously. He faced a massive setback, a financial setback in 2009. With tenacity, he clawed his way back. He has a powerful story to share to inspire generations to come. He is now obsessed with mentoring fellow travelers in a seminal journey to overcome adversities without fear or shame. Let us hear more from the man himself. Welcome to the show, Vikas.
Thank you, Premraj. Thanks a lot. Thanks for inviting me. It's been a couple of times, when I was supposed to be here, couldn't be here, but glad to be here finally. And thanks for, you were not there on Saturday, I believe, at the event, but you are here today. And I know what you went through in the last week. So, thank you for hosting me. And it's good to see everybody out here. Thank you.
Because you're running 5 businesses simultaneously,
Yeah.
people find it difficult to run one business efficiently. Can you share the secret of your success in juggling 5 businesses effectively?
Wow, sure. I always wanted to run 5 businesses. Now, I don't know why, and I don't know how this came into my mind. And in fact, I was just thinking a couple of days back that why am I running 5 businesses? And I remember when I was a child, I would always say, we should have 5, 6 businesses. We should have 5, 6 businesses. So that was kind of a dream for me. And I run an export business, I run a printing business, I run a packaging business, I run a networking business, and along with that, training, coaching, mentoring on a one-to-one basis to a lot of people. So the secret I thought I would say is, I always say one thing is prioritize your priorities. People always run behind managing time. They never come to a level where they can manage time. And I'll tell you one incident. At the Mumbai signal, there was always beggars earlier. You would always find a beggar at every signal. And there was one beggar, and I asked him, "Kuch kaam kyun nahi karte ho?" And this is the reply he gave: "Time nahi hai saab." So people in Mumbai don't have time, and people are always short of time, and people are always trying to manage time. But people, what they need to do is they learn to manage their priorities. What is your number one priority? Where are you putting your time today? That's what I do when I manage my 5 businesses. That's what I focus on right now. What do I need to do? And as we go ahead, I'll share a few more things of what I do. Is basically I partner with a lot of people with integrity, a lot of responsibility, and I partner with total trust. So that gives time and space for me to grow in what I want to do, and it gives time and space to them to grow in what they want to do. See, it's like Mother Teresa said, you can do some things better than me, and I can do some things better than you. But together, we can change the world. So I absolutely believe that, Premraj. So together, we can change the world.
Yes, that's very, very true. We need to manage time. And that anecdote that shared about the beggar is quite humorous. A beggar doesn't have time because he's in the business of begging.
Absolutely. I was shocked, and it took me a lot of time to understand the depth of that when the beggar said, I don't have time. So that is the state of people in Mumbai, especially in Mumbai.
So it's a fact, not all businesses are successful. Believe you had a massive failure in business. How and why did you suffer these losses? Would you mind sharing something with us, please?
Oh, awesome. Yes, all businesses were not successful, and I always believe in one more principle that misery loves company. आपको कभी भी परेशानी आती है ना, तो एक एक करके नहीं आती है, सब साथ में आती है. They are like a very well-knit families. They say हम इस आदमी को तकलीफ देंगे और सारी परेशानियां एक साथ आती हैं तकलीफ देने के लिए. So I had the major loss in my printing business at that time, and at that time I was running only 3 businesses. In fact, I was running only 2 businesses in the year 2009. I was just in the networking business, and I was in the printing business. We suffered a loss of around 4 crores of rupees. We lost money in everything that we did. From 2004 till 2007, my business was growing or upscaling at a rate of 40% every year. And then we did huge investments. We took heavy loans at high rate of interest. And I understand all this now. In 2009, I did not understand it. And so we had to pay a huge amount of interest. the business scenario changed. In 2009 and 8 and 9 was the world recession time. That came right after we did the investments. So we know huge amount of loan at a high rate of interest. Uh, Yearly entire amount which we invested was on our machineries, and plant and machinery was on loan. Our profit margin, which was at 40%, came down to 8%.
Oh,
Heavy competition. And my business turnover, because of the change in the scenario, which was growing at 40% year on year, was coming down at 30% year on year. I was doing half the turnover of what I was doing in 2006 and 7, and at a margin of 8%. Now you can imagine, when you have huge loans at 18 and 21% rate of interest, your profit ratio is 8%, what's going to happen to you? Or you have a huge turnover, but turnover was half. So we lost a lot of money on the expansion that we did, on the loans that we took. We lost money on some clients. One of the company just refused to pay me around, I think 18 lakhs of rupees. They just wound up. There was nothing that we could do. Another company was another 23 lakhs. And in one of the companies, it was my mistake. We lost 75 lakhs of rupees in one single order. You know, you have these scratch and win coupons.
yeah, yeah.
So I took the contract for a scratch and win coupon of a big company. I was already working with them for 6 years in 2009, and we had signed certain contract that everything will go well. And we were doing this work year on year. But that particular year, what happened, I do not know. Where it happened, I do not know. But it happened in my office, I knew. It happened because of, we took something too casually, and I had to pay back 75 lakhs of rupees. And I couldn't run away, because I was not trained to run away. I was always trained to fight and, stand for what was right. And I knew I had done a mistake. We had done a mistake at my office. We had done a mistake. And I could have gone into a lawsuit with the company, and they would have definitely won, because they are too powerful and too strong. And I'm talking about legal matters. And I didn't want to lose that client, and I didn't want to lose that business. So we took time, and we, channelized the funds, and we slowly paid them off. But till today, I still have that client, one of my biggest clients even today in the printing business. So we lost money over there. We lost money with clients. We took a huge property, and we had to sell it at a loss of 25 lakhs of rupees just to stay afloat. Lost money over there, huge rate of interest. Everything that we touched, we have heard the story of Midas touch. It would touch anything, and that would turn to gold. And in the printing business, if you would touch anything, and that would turn to dust. So we lost a lot of money over there. That was a tough time. So not one reason, but multiple reasons.
Sad to hear about that.
Yeah.
So what was your mental and emotional state when going through this painful period?
I'm sorry if I'm giving slightly long answers, Premraj.
It's okay.
But that's what, I want people to understand that, what are the challenges that come across while you are running a business. And challenges come from a number of sources, it's just not one source or one thing at times. और वो बोलते हैं ना, जब वक्त खराब होता है, आप कुछ कर लो, आप कामयाब यही होते हैं. So that was the biggest learning curve of my life. At that time, I was like, I didn't know what to do. I had no money to pay my installments. I had no money. I was living on rent. I had no money to pay rent. I did not know how I would pay the school fees for my children at that time. I just didn't know what would happen the next day. You see? So I was like, if I get all my assets together, my insurance policies together, everything together, after spending so much of money, I will be accumulating 1.5 crores. I have to pay back 4 crores, 4.5 crores. And as the month is going by, every month the installments and the interest are piling. So I was like disappointed. I was dejected. I was disheartened. I was broken. I didn't know. I just didn't know what to do. I hated. I hated. You know, people say, "अरे यार मेरे को ऑफिस नहीं जाना यार, ऑफिस जा जाके पक गया हूँ." Guys, have you said that?
Yeah.
You know, मैं ऑफिस जाके पक गया हूँ. And I hated going to my office. I was staying in Andheri. My office at that time was at Lower Parel. I remember one particular spot when I would cross my stomach would actually ache. I'd say I'll be in office in the next 20 minutes. How can I avoid going to office? I just do not want to go to office. Because that office, the only thing would be bankers would call, suppliers would call, some friends and relatives will call, asking, when are you going to pay me? How are you going to pay me? So I was in a lot of stress. Like I was living in stress 24 by 7 because I didn't have an answer. Because if you tell me, how do I pay back 2.5, 3.5, 4 crores to people? I just didn't know. No, I had taken all the possible loans from all possible sources. I didn't have huge any other investments. That was the only source of income at that time which I had. I was in pain. I was in constant pain. And you know, when you are in so much stress, you know, you generally get irritated, you get angry, you know, and things spill at home. Now, I tried not to let the anger and frustration spill at home, but yes, at sometimes they would. And I actually thought, you know, let me just end my life. If I would end my life, end this crisis, it'll be over for me. But then I thought, if I end my life, does that pay back the people from whom I have taken money?
Yes.
Does it build the trust of people who loaned me because they trusted me? And this loss of mine, and if I further don't pay them, is going to increase their losses, and tomorrow they think of committing suicide because I ran away with their money, whether by committing suicide or by not paying them. So it was a lot of stress for me. It was a lot of agony for me. I would just think, how do I pay back? And I was blank. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know have an answer for anybody. That was my mental state. That was where I was, where I didn't have any light at the end of the tunnel. I had lost hope. And I always say this, a man can survive without food for 40 days. He can survive without water for 4 days. He can survive without air for 4 minutes, but without hope, he cannot even survive for 4 seconds. And I was absolutely hopeless at that time. I had no hope because I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to pay back people. I didn't know how to run the show. And I thought I will never be able to pay this back. That was how bad I was. It is simpler, irrespective of the words and time I spend on expressing this. It's going to be very difficult for me to, actually give that experience to you on how does 2009, 10, 11, and 12. These 4 years were for me. Very bad state.
Thanks for sharing. We can see and feel the anguish in your face and your voice. And we can just empathize with the pain that you would have gone in those tragic years. And we are happy you came through that. We salute your tenacity.
Thank you very much.
For running a successful business, your employees need to be engaged and motivated to give their best. In your experience, how is it that you managed to keep your employees motivated, especially when facing challenging situations in those 3-4 years?
Yes, this is a very, very important and a vital question, Premraj. I kind of answered this question today morning with somebody where I was spending time with. And just in case if I have skipped out or not answered any of your previous questions, you can remind me that because you have not answered this part. Now, for me, one thing that turned around. First, I will just share what turned around for me when I was facing problem was, I tried to run away from the problems. I tried to blame the heavy rate of interest, the international financial scenario, the government. I tried to blame everything else. And one day, when I thought I have no way out, so I said, in fact, my CA, who was a very good friend of mine, he says, "आप bankruptcy declare करके भाग जाओ यहाँ से, because you are not going to be able to pay 4 crores. I do not see your company running beyond 90 days from today." Now, I am a kind of a spiritual guy, and I don't know what happened. At that day, cried. I cried like a small baby, where I just didn't know what to do. In fact, I was at home, I was sitting with my wife, and I said, "It's all over, and we got to maybe run away." But I said, I cannot run away, and I don't know what to do. That day, I said, if we do not run away, we have to live here and fight. It might take some years. The road ahead is going to be very, very difficult, very, very tough on a daily basis. But I said, I'll take responsibility. I am responsible for this failure. I am the one who got myself into these problems, and I am the one who will pick myself up from these problems. So I always believe in taking responsibility. And the reason why I say this is, when I started my printing business, I was around 30 years of age or 28. And at that time, and my partner, I have a partner in my printing business. He's 4 years younger to me. But at that time, we had some people whom we know, and we employed them. And they was just 16 and 18 years of age.
Oh.
Yeah. So let's say they were 18 and I was 30. Now, 18 years later today, they are 38 and I'm 48. But the reason what I do with my employees is I tell them, take responsibility, take decisions. How wrong will you go? Because a lot of solopreneurs, entrepreneurs, they always think about, let me do this. Isko nahi aata hai. Let me do this. Let me do this. They instead of delegating authority, they keep putting on burden on themselves. And I always believe there is a certain amount of weight you can carry for a certain distance. Beyond that, you will break. So one of the key things that I always believe is I tell people, I encourage people to take responsibility, keep coming back to me. In my office, my door never shuts. I do not have clutter on my table. Anybody at any time is free to walk in, ask any number of questions. You cannot understand, I will explain it to you 5 times. If you're not confident, I'll encourage them, to go ahead and do it. If something goes wrong, we will sort it out. And I always tell them, you will always be better off asking a stupid question than committing a stupid mistake. So I'm giving you freedom to ask. I'm giving you freedom to come and discuss some things. And I tell them, take responsibility and do not worry. Because when you take responsibility, you empower yourselves. And the first thing when something goes wrong, I have people, they say, "Ye meri galti hai." If you come to that stage where you can stand up and say, "It is my mistake. This thing happened because of me," things will change in the organization. Because a small thing I'll give you, Premraj, a very, very small example. We were 6 people in a cabin. We were there for a long meeting. And for an example, all of a sudden, a plate of, which is lying right now in front of me, I'll use this, a plate of fruits was there on the table. So did you keep this plate of fruits? No. Did you keep the plate of fruits? No. Did you keep this plate of fruits? No. 6 people in the room, a plate of fruits, and I didn't get it. I didn't keep it. I didn't keep it. I didn't keep it. So, I would say the fruit just got up, flew from the refrigerator, cut itself into pieces, and came on the conference table. Because when something goes wrong, people suddenly say, "I didn't do it. I didn't do it. I didn't do it," because they think it's going to be weird or embarrassing to, commit a small mistake. I say, if you did it, just say it's my responsibility. That empowers you, that put more that puts more trust and confidence for the people in you. Don't back off from responsibility. Take responsibility. And as a solopreneur, entrepreneur, business owner, I would say is give responsibility to people. Encourage them to take responsibility and trust me. When you tell people, I know you will do good, I know you can do this, they perform 5 times better. They don't live in fear. They then they go out with the ability to prove themselves, not to please you. Because when an employee is trying to please you, it's a different ball game. But when an employee is trying to prove himself, it's a totally different ball game.
True, true. That's very, very true. And as a boss, you would have been a great person to work under with. And
I hope so.
With the empowerment that you're giving your people, the trust and the confidence you're giving your people to make mistakes, to commit mistakes and learn from mistakes makes you a great boss. And no wonder you came out of this crisis.
Thank you, Prem Raj.
Believe you're writing
Yes,
believe you're writing a book on this episode, on this phase in your life. Mind sharing about it?
Sure. I'm writing this book, which is known as Fall Flat to Stand Tall. Now, like in 2009, I had absolutely fallen flat. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know where I was. The only thing when I took responsibility and I decided that I will change it for myself, that was the time one day I said to myself that I've fallen flat. One day I will stand tall. And I didn't want to prove this to my clients, my family members, my relatives, or people who had helped me or supported me. I wanted to prove to myself that I will be a winner one day, one more time, and I will stand tall. And that became the title of my book, Fall Flat to Stand Tall. So a lot of people come and say, what do you mean fall flat to stand tall? I said, I am kind of encouraging you and telling you to fall flat, because don't expect miracles to happen. Everybody says this guy is an overnight success. This guy became so successful. He's a leading cricketer at the age of 26 and his net worth is 200 crores. I said, yes, but do you imagine the struggle? He started at 6. So from 6 to 26 is a 20-year period. Overnight success takes 15 years in making.
And 10,000 hours of practice.
Yes. A lot of practice in anything. Nobody is an overnight success. An overnight success takes 15 years in making. So I tell people, I encourage people to fail. I said, don't be afraid of failures, because failures will teach you things that success will never teach you. Failures will make you stronger, which success will never make you. Failures make you really strong. Failures teach you to learn and grow. Success makes you arrogant maybe at times. Failure will never make you arrogant. Failure really humbles you down. And you need to learn to become humble. And that is what I think the only reason why failure comes to you is to make you humble, I believe. And we have a big mega star, who's doing exceptionally well, who's in every second advertisement today. He became very, very humble after his great loss of crores and crores of.
Yes. Yeah.
So in today's world, we see people on Facebook, we see people on LinkedIn and Instagram, and people are celebrating success. Nobody's saying I lost my job. Nobody's saying I suffered a loss. Nobody's saying my relationships are in problem. People hide from failure. Now, even for me, when I was suffering those failures, I stopped going out. I was not meeting anybody. I didn't meet any of my friends. There was no money to go out and party, because I was collecting money so I could probably put fuel in my bullet. I remember there was this petrol pump on the way back. Every day, I would somehow manage 100 rupees because my credit cards were full. I had a limit of 20 lakhs on 3 or 4 of my credit cards, which was all full. So, and charging the credit card further was accumulating more interest. So I would go put 100 rupees fuel on my bike every day on the way back.
ऑफिस से थोड़ा पैसा लिया, यहाँ से कुछ किया, and I would be so embarrassed, ये आदमी क्या बोलता होगा. But then I was like, अब यही पेट्रोल पंप पे जाएंगे क्योंकि एक कंफर्ट लेवल है, उसको भी मालूम है ये आएगा 100 रुपए का पेट्रोल बुलेट में डाल के जाएगा. Because my bullet full tank at that time was 950 rupees. So I was just accumulating that 100 rupees somehow, and I would fulfill fuel every day, and that was how I was, and I accepted it. I said, this is my state, this is where I am, and it's all right. So I stopped hiding from failures. I was actually used to be embarrassed with my head low, shoulders low. I would walk like this. Looking around कि कोई मुझे देख तो नहीं रहा कि मैं ऑफिस जा रहा हूँ कि नहीं जा रहा हूँ, standing like this. So I had actually fallen flat. And then when I said I have to pay back the amount, and only I can pay back. See, Premraj is not going to loan me 4 crores of rupees or give me 4 crores of rupees. Neither is Jaya or neither Deepak Khemani going to give me, or Abhijit. Nobody is going to give me money. ये पैसा मुझे कमाना, ये पैसा मुझे देना. I have to pay back. Then I started standing like this. I said, मैं पैसा दूंगा. As long as Vikas Khosla is here, alive and standing in front of you, I will pay you. I do not know the time, how much time I will take to pay you back, but I will pay you your money. So that is why I tell people is fall flat to stand tall. When you fall flat, take that responsibility. Do not be ashamed. Do not hide. So I'm kind of encouraging you to accept your failures. I'm encouraging you to accept the hardships, because those hardships, those challenges are the stepping stone to your success in the years to come.
Thanks, Vikas. Thanks for sharing. You might have fallen flat, but you are standing tall now. We salute you.
Thank you, Premraj. Thank you.
On this call, we have a lot of solopreneurs or first-time entrepreneurs. What would your advice be to them on facing crisis and how to come out of adversity?
Wow. I will try to make this answer short, Premraj, because I meet a lot of people today where people have small businesses, where people have had no revenue, no business since the month of April. The EMIs are still on, and the challenges have not yet gone. And one thing which I've been saying, and as we have spoken as friends with Deepak Khemani and Abhijit and everybody, I would say is the real financial scenario you will come to know when things open up.
True.
You see, right now everybody is saying COVID hai, ghar pe baithe hai. But when you go, I know there are businesses where the employee, I know the business owner and I know the employee. So the employee is thinking that let the office open up on 1st of September and I'll go to office and resume work. Whereas the owner has already wound up and said, I cannot open up, and he's gone. And the employee is not even aware that when I go on 1st of September, because this is mid-August story, that my office is already shut. So the real challenges will come now, and this is the time where I am telling people is take a wise decision. Do not do any kind of stupidity which I did. Do not do over expansion, over investments. First, just try to settle yourself down. See where you are, understand where you are, and only then you'll be able to figure out where you can go. So my suggestion would be is take one step at a time. Don't expect, these days banks are calling you to take a top-up loan on your home loan, take a top-up loan on your property loan, any property. They're giving you top-up loan on your car loan. So banks are calling you, money is easily available. But if you think that is the only solution, you will be in more problems, because eventually they will take huge amount of interest from you.
Interest from you, true.
See, the worst thing that I did when, guys, this is going to happen to some of you, or maybe you are there. And if you are not there, probably this is another learning experience. What happened to us was my interest was 4.5 lakhs a month. My installments were around 8.5 lakhs, but my interest component was around 4.5 to 5 lakhs a month. And a time came where I had to borrow money on a monthly basis to pay the interest. See, when you have to start borrowing just to pay the interest, you are in a very bad situation. Because I'm taking more money on interest just to pay off the interest of the earlier loans. So never reach that situation. So what I would suggest in today's time is don't do over expansion. Do not expect for a miracle to happen, but put in consistent effort in what you can do in the next couple of weeks, how you can structure your business, how you can plan out your activities, what are you looking to achieve in the next couple of weeks. I'm talking about, I'm not talking about 6 months. Because if you can survive the next 6 weeks, you'll be able to survive the next 12 weeks, and then you'll be able to survive the next 12 months, because then you'll come to know what is happening to business. There will be a growth soon. There will be a growth soon. But my suggestion would be is to just be a bit careful on your activities right now. Pay your minimum installments that you can. Start your businesses, even if it is small. Cut down on your expenses. I have, in fact, coached 6 people right now in the last couple of weeks, where they have actually, they were in rented places, Premraj. So they have shut their offices, they have given up, they have shut down the rent, because the rent was ranging between 45,000 to 4.5 lakhs. Just the rent 4.5 lakhs to run an office. It's not a factory which is producing money and getting goods out for you. Rent for an office. So I've cut them, the people running small businesses, they've shifted to their homes. Who have 3 or 4 employees, work from home. 45, 50,000 a month is 6 lakhs rupees of money saved.
Saved, true.
You see, a person running or paying a rent of 4.5 lakhs cannot get his 40 people to home. But I said, get smaller activities. You don't need a lavish place. So, these are things which you can do to survive. Don't spend money in showing to people I have a big office. Any money in your pocket is better than anyone else's pocket. Remember this principle. Money in your pocket is better than the pocket of the banker.
Thanks for this home truth. And I'm sure people on this call will resonate with this. Yeah. I'm coming to the end of the allotted time for me. But before I go, that's not a question, just an observation that I've made about you. I've always heard you say, God bless you, or always saying, give and share. Why do you always talk about sharing and blessing?
Wow. We used to, I've always seen my father support a lot of people. And as we were growing in my printing business right from 2000 till 2007 and 8, we used to always support certain organization, religious, non-religious, certain hospitals, certain people. And we always believed in helping those who cannot help themselves. And we were doing that on a regular basis. I read a lot of books, where they always say, do tithe, you give 10% of your income, 5% of your income. So we would always help and support. Now, in 2009, after suffering those huge losses, I couldn't give money to anybody. I didn't have money for myself. And doing charity, I was charity. I needed charity. I would tell people, can you help me? Can you support me? I was in that state. But one day, in that situation, after quite a few months where I was not doing anything, there is this person, he walked into my office. He was referred to by a couple of people. I didn't know him. And he walked in and he said, I am in need of 10,000 rupees. One of his family members was in the hospital and he needed money desperately. And through somebody had said, why they had taken my name, I do not know, because I was not doing anything for the last couple of months, that he would help you out. And he needed 10,000 rupees. He requested, he didn't demand. He requested, sir, I need 10,000 rupees. I'm in need of 10,000 rupees. And I don't know what happened. And I said, can you just wait? So I went into another cabin. I spoke to my partner and he said, yeah, 10,000 रुपए मांग रहे, क्या करें? He says, दे दो. I said, I do not have money to fill fuel. I am thinking वो 100 रुपये आ जाएगा तो आज शाम का पेट्रोल डालूंगा बुलेट में अपनी. He says, नहीं कुछ करो, let's give it to him. I said, ठीक है. So I told him, I do not have it right now. I don't know why, but can you come back after like by evening 6:37? Give me 4-5 hours. Let me do something. Let me see what I can do. He said, sir, लेकिन आप अगर शाम को नहीं दोगे तो मैं तकलीफ में आ जाऊंगा. I said, okay, I will give it to you, but just call me and come. And I don't know what happened. I was just focused for the next 5 hours, not on the supplier, my office, my work, on my problems. My goal was to give this guy 10,000 rupees. And trust me and believe me, I don't know how and what happened. By 6:30, I had 10,000 rupees in my hand.
Wow.
Okay. This guy came in. I gave him that 10,000 rupees. Why I was giving those 10,000 rupees, I was literally having tears in my eyes. Not because I was giving 10,000 or 10,000 rupees is going. I was like, I hope this 10,000 rupees does what is supposed to do for him. And I forgot all my problems, all my challenges for those 4 or 5 or 6 hours. I walked out like this of my office. I was like,
Chest out.
Chest out. I felt like a winner. I had forgotten everything and I felt abundant. I felt, my God, I have money. I've given 10,000 rupees, I have money. If I can get 10,000, I can get 1,00,000 rupees. That day, I decided that irrespective of what happens to me and my financial status, I am going to go out and I'm going to help and support somebody. And from that day, I didn't fix a person. And my encouragement to you guys is start with something. Start with 100 rupees a month, but make it every month. Start with 500 a month, but make it every month. Don't give 25,000 one day and for 2 years don't do anything. The beauty is going out and helping somebody who cannot help himself with 500 rupees, but every month.
Consistently.
And I don't know what happened from that day onwards. I have never met that person again. I will not recognize him if he comes in front of me today. And from that day onwards, things started changing. My perspective towards money changed. My feeling towards, ye paisa bachao nahi hai. I went to the thing, let me give it, God will give me. Let me give it away, God will give me. And he will take care of me. If he sends somebody to me for help, and if it is within my limits as much as I can. If somebody comes and says, "Mereko 5 lakh rupees de do," I cannot. But I will give what I can. I will give what I have kept aside and I will give a bit more. So, but be consistent. So slowly, I started helping people every month. Then as my situation changed, I increased this limit. I kept on increasing this limit slowly, and things changed for me. So that's why I always tell people is, God bless you. Blessedfulness. Give blessings free mein. You can give a blessing to a person who's elder to you. You can give a blessing to a person who's younger to you. You can just say God bless. Because blessedness, gratefulness, and forgiveness. These are the 3 nesses. Blessedness, forgiveness, and gratefulness. These 3 nesses can change your life. Forgive people, give them blessings, and be grateful for what you have. That's why I always say God bless to people. And I always give blessings and I always support. If you do not have any money, people say, I don't want to give it to beggars. I am not saying give it to beggars. Register Tata Memorial Hospital, do an online RTGS of 100 rupees, or do it every month. You can get Tata Memorial bank details. You just write to them. You can go online, Tata Memorial online transfer details. transfer 500 rupees every month to Tata Memorial Cancer Research Center in Mumbai. There are orphanages, there are other institutions, there are people in our families and friends who need some help.
Yeah, true.
When you do that, you change your perspective. You will grow as an individual. You will have a feeling of abundance, and God is there. I believe this. There is a power that helps you when you help others. That's why Prem Raj, always blessed, man.
Thanks for sharing this. God bless you. Daily morning, I receive that message from you, and whenever we call, that's there, and that's quite blissful. All those three nesses that you said is quite blissful. I now hand over the stage to Jaya for the rest of the things before she hands it over to me for the final comments. Jaya, all yours.
All right, that was one, talk or story showing or whatever you call, one piece of information and inspiration that I've had in a long time. In fact, I was thinking of a few people whom I spoke to a few days back and who still looked a little, confused and hopeless. And like you said, that even if you don't eat, you don't drink water, but if you have hope, and you're drinking water right there, but if you have hope, then there is everything that is possible. And there is hope on the other side of the horizon. But just to add to that, I would say that more than hope, I think it is essential we also believe in what is our strength and what is actually that is in the world waiting for us. So thank you so much, Vikas, for inspiring us today, for telling us your journey, which, so you understand, I think most of us have seen that rock bottom. I think 100 out of 100 people reach that rock bottom sometime or the other. For some, it could be financial. For some, it could be health. For some, it could be so many things. Okay. Somewhere in the life, that rock bottom hits. But when we listen to stories like yours, we know that the rock bottom is nothing but a new start. So, it reminds me of Shahid Kapoor's dialogue in Jab We Met, when he comes back after meeting Geet, and he's talking to his staff and he tells them ki boss, जो होना था बुरा वो हो गया, इससे बुरा क्या होगा, अब जो भी होगा वो अच्छा ही होगा. So when I was listening to you, those words were actually, and I could also relate it to my own journey, and I'm sure all the people who are hearing it could relate it. So thank you so much for sharing that with us. Now that was my view, but oh my God, we were flooded with messages as you were speaking. I'll quickly read a few and maybe I could send them to you later for you to have a look at them. Too famous Premraj, somebody was saying, prioritize your priorities. Money in your pocket is always better than money in someone else's pocket. Wow. So your words being repeated again. Threeness, blessedness, forgiveness, gratefulness. Superlight Wiki. Ansi says, wonderful. Sebastian says, you've gone through so much. Your smile is still the same. Mr. Jagannath Rao. Mr. Jagannath Rao says, we have different rock bottoms in life. Yes, sir. Sebastian says, we need to catch up soon. That's right. Then again, Mr. Rao says, when you have hit the rock bottom, there is only one way out, that is climbing up. That is exactly what we were saying, sir, and you already said it. Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing that. And then do we have a question here? Let's look for a question here. Okay, why is this not going up? Just a moment. Okay. So we have, again, Mr. Jagannath Rao saying, when you have hit the rock bottom, there is only one way out. Okay, he just said that. So thank you, sir, for acknowledging. Vikas is also now saying it's great to see you all. I'm sure it is, because after online, offline, all the meets, I really value, the association of people. I love to see people now, and I love people even more because I have missed them so much during this lockdown. So thank you so much. And people, thank you for attending, but please send in your questions now. We can take maybe 2 or 3 questions right now before we wind up. So anything you want to ask Vikas, any more boost of motivation you need, I think he's right here for us. He's taken out this time to share such an inspiring story. I'm so happy to hear the story. I can't even stop saying that. So if you have any questions, please put them right here, or you can unmute yourself and do that. I think Abhijit is ready with a question.
No, I don't have a question, but I've heard Vikas and his story for
Lost you, Abhijit.
nobody knows
That Vikas is the best story shower you could have possibly in India. So you've not seen his talents of story showing. He's the best. He's not one of the best. He's simply the best. And I've seen his story in a 3 minute, 6 minute, 10 minute crisper form. But when I listen to his entire story, I think it's much more powerful, and I can really empathize with him what he would have gone through. So hats off Vikas. I think I'm eagerly awaiting the launch of his book, Fall Flat to Stand Tall. I think
Thank you.
and,
Thank you.
and
Abhijit.
again I
Thanks a lot.
remembered another colleague of mine, Deepak, because when he said difficulties keep on compounding or challenges, so Deepak is our compounding guru. So I could relate that you can compound everything, even difficulties and miseries will keep on compounding.
Yeah.
Hello, Jaya.
Yes, Sabi. Go on.
I would
Thank
like
you,
to say
Abhijit.
hello to Vicky. This is Sebastian.
Yes, Sebastian, I know you. I am there with you on all your social media, Sabi.
So sweet, so sweet.
So
I
good to
think
see you.
I'm catching up on the voice for almost after 10 years.
Could be. Yes, yes.
Yeah, so I look forward to meet you soon.
Same here. Same here. Same here. Looking forward to meeting all you guys here.
God bless.
Thank
God
you,
bless you,
Sabi. So Vikas, we have a question from Vikas Singh. He says, Vikas
Yes.
sir, when can we read your book?
I am working on getting the final draft ready in a couple let's say in another 60 days. In another 60 days, the final will be ready. I didn't want to launch it during the COVID time, so I took a back seat. But yes, it would be ready. And then after 60 days, whatever time the process is to launch, we'll go with that. But in 2020, we will see the book taking final shape for sure.
See, Vikas's book will not be remembered by the title when he says fall flat and stand tall. No. Just like we remember DDLJ, QSQT, this will be FFST. FFST. Then people will say, oh, FFST, fall flat, stand tall. That is how it will be remembered.
Thank you. Thank you, Deepak. Thank you, sir.
Awesome. Asha Lata ji is saying, you have made us feel that it's okay to fail, to despair, to weep, and feel hopeless. As long as you accept things as they are. I think that's when the way forward opens up. Thank you. Thank you, Asha Lata ji, for that. But to tell you, it has all opened up. The way forward is completely open now. It's for us now to go out and sort it, because many of us are still very scared. But yes, things have opened up. Life has come into almost normal, and a lot of beautiful things are already happening. But thank you for the mention. Vikas Singh says, wow, eagerly waiting. We'll wait eagerly.
Just one thing, we were in, like I said, I was crying. And because, I said the staff of mine is also there with me for so many years. We started being joyful. In fact, जब कोई आता था ना, लोग तो कुछ, इंडिया है, this is not Europe or US, कुछ लोग गुंडे भी भेजते थे ऑफिस, इसने हमारा 10 लाख रुपया देना है. So we would deal with that, and then we would laugh, उसने ऐसा बोला, इसने ऐसा बोला, and we try to get something positive. कोर्ट के लोगों ने नोटिस भेजे, तो नोटिस आया, so we would say आज हमको 12 करोड़ का नोटिस आया कि पैसे मिल रहे हैं, that something good is coming in. We would tell people, we would exaggerate the figures. Sometimes we would get a payment of 11,000 rupees, and my partner would open up and says, we've got 11,000 crores in the bank today. So, this was just diverting our mind. So stay positive, think big. Stay positive, think big. You will come out of this situation, because I know positiveness, people are, and trainers and coaches say positivity is, not the only thing. And I had written an article on LinkedIn some time back also. Hope is everything, but hope is not a strategy, because beyond hope, you need a strategy also. So there is, but start believing in yourself that bigger things, better things, and greater things are on the way. Because if you don't think that way, if you keep looking at the problem, you will keep getting the problems. So, think big, think positive, and go ahead with confidence, and things will change for you. When you are confident, people will give way for you. If you walk with confidence, people will clear the path for you.
Very true. Very, very well said, Vikas. Seriously. I think Mr. Jagannath Rao is trying to say, yes, sir. Yes, please.
Vikas Mohan sir should start using next to his name his academic qualification and fall flat to stand tall, FLST. And that's how he should be. He should project himself in his visiting card. That's how it should be, like MBBS, MD, MSc, PhD, like that. It should be something like that. And it will really go very well.
Dedicated to Deepak Khemani. FFST got because of Deepak Khemani. There go him.
Yes. Thank you.
Bindu Sangani says, stay positive, think big. So it's 8 o'clock, people. If you have any questions, we can take one more. Otherwise, I think we'll wind up for the day, and you can send us your questions and we will send them to Vikas offline, and he can help you by answering that as and when possible. If not, then let me just wind this up by giving my heartfelt gratitude to Premraj ji and to Vikas, both of you, because this was really a very, very enriching session, completely inspiring, and especially to those who have really lost hope because of COVID. And trust me, there are so many over there. And because we have recorded this with your permission, I would like to put this on YouTube and share this with a few people, so that if anybody is feeling that everything is over, I want to tell them it is not. If Vikas can do it, if Premraj ji can do it, if Deepak ji can do it, Abhijit can do it, Sebastian can do it, and all of here can do it, I can do it, you can do it. Please do not lose hope. We all hit the rock bottom, and that's the new start, a new life. With that, I would like to end this series and thanking each and everybody here attending for giving us their 1 hour. And I'm hopeful that they must have got a lot of value today, as much as I have got. Power Up is very happy to be doing this today. Power Up is here just for that, to inspire, to collaborate, to co-create, to be one, to grow, and to just be in the harmony of growing each and every day more and more, not just as entrepreneurs, but upgrading our own self. So thank you so much for being on our platform today.
Let me have the final word then.
Yes, please.
Because
before Kiran, Premraj, before you have the final word, just one word.
Yeah,
अच्छे
please,
दिन आने
Deepak.
वाले हैं.
Yeah, please,
अच्छे दिन
Deepak.
आने वाले हैं.
अच्छे दिन आने वाले हैं.
आज आ गए हैं, उन्हें पहचानिए.
The greatest millionaires, the biggest companies which have become biggest were formed during 1929, which was the biggest depression in the world.
Depression.
So if they can do it, we can do it. Let's bounce forward. This is the time. Thank you, Jaya, for calling me here. Thank you, everybody. It was great being with you guys. And Premraj sir, over to you to close the meeting.
Vikas, you are an inspiration. We admire your tenacity and single-minded devotion to claw your way back from adversity. You are a beacon of hope in the gloom and doom around. You are a true giver. God bless you. Thank you. We meet again tomorrow at 7 o'clock with another episode with a new person coming as a celebrity guest. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yes. See you all tomorrow at 7 p.m. once again. Yes, sir.
The Zoom link and passcode is the same for tomorrow, or
yes. The same
yes, for all
link
4
will be
days.
used. Yes, the same link will be used for all the series, throughout the series.
Passcode also.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody,
Thank you.
for joining in. Stay connected, and we'll see you tomorrow. Good night.
Good night.
Shabbat